Hey, did you come across that recent study about how many steps we should be taking each day?
Oh,
It's
I
pretty
think I heard
intriguing.
something about that. Yeah, I've been hearing so many different numbers tossed around. What's the latest?
Well, it's actually it's like there's a lot of discrepancies worldwide. Some guidelines
Really?
suggest different step counts.
Huh. I always thought 10,000 steps was the magic number.
Yeah, that's what most people think. But the research shows that healthy adults typically take anywhere from 4,000 to 18,000 steps a day.
Wow, that's quite a range. So is 10,000 steps still a good goal then?
Well, it's reasonable. But here's the thing. There are many populations that are considered low active.
Oh, I see.
So 10,000 steps might be a bit high for them.
That makes sense. So how do we determine what's enough?
The study suggests aligning step-based recommendations with existing physical activity guidelines.
Okay.
Focusing on time spent in moderate to vigorous physical activity, or MVPA.
Right? Like the recommendation of at least 30 minutes of moderate activity per day?
Exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. They found a strong relationship between cadence and intensity.
Go
So,
on.
walking at 100 steps per minute is considered moderate intensity.
So if I walk at 100 steps per minute for 30 minutes, that meets the guideline?
Yes, and that adds up to 3,000 steps.
Got it. But wait, don't we take steps throughout the day anyway?
Yeah, but these 3,000 steps need to be over and above our habitual activity.
Ah, that makes sense. So when you combine daily routine steps with these, what's the total?
Well, when they computed it, the total steps per day come to about 7,100 to 11,000 steps to include the MVPA recommendations.
Interesting. So the 10,000 steps goal is kind of in the middle of that range.
Exactly. But direct measurements suggest that even 7,000 to 8,000 steps per day might be enough.
Really? So why is there a difference between the computed and direct measurements?
Well, it's due to how we account for habitual activity levels.
Right.
And also, people have different lifestyles, so steps vary widely.
That makes sense. But you mentioned cadence earlier. Could you elaborate on that?
Sure. So, they found a strong relationship between how fast we walk, our cadence, and the intensity of the activity. So, walking at 100 steps per minute is considered moderate intensity.
So, if I pick up my pace to 100 steps per minute, I'm hitting that moderate intensity level?
Exactly. And if you maintain that for at least 10 minutes, it counts towards your MVPA.
Got it. But does that mean slow walking doesn't count?
Well, slow walking is still beneficial, but it might not reach moderate intensity.
I see.
However, it's still movement, and that's better than sitting.
So every bit counts then?
Absolutely. And especially for people who are inactive, even light activity is beneficial.
That's good to know. But what about interventions? Do they show significant increases in steps?
Yes, interventions typically show increases of about 2,000 to 2,500 steps per day.
That's substantial. So if someone is taking 5,000 steps a day, they can get up to 7,500 with some effort.
Exactly, and that gets them closer to meeting guidelines.
Right. You know, I read somewhere about health outcomes related to step counts. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. The study showed that higher step counts are associated with lower prevalence of depression in women.
Really?
Women taking 7,500 steps a day had significantly lower depression rates.
That's fascinating. Are there other health benefits?
Yes, there are associations with better body composition, lower BMI, and reduced waist circumference with higher step counts.
Wow. So increasing steps can have multiple health benefits.
Absolutely. And even small increases at lower habitual levels can make a difference.
That's encouraging. But for those already active, do additional steps still provide benefits?
Yes, but the relative benefit might be smaller compared to someone who was inactive.
Makes sense.
But overall, more activity is generally better.
So it's a dose-response relationship?
Exactly. The more you move, the greater the potential health benefits.
Got it. But we still need to be cautious not to overdo it, right?
True, it's important to increase activity gradually, especially if you're starting from a low base.
Right. You know, sometimes focusing too much on numbers can be discouraging for some people.
That's a fair point. Maybe it's about making activity enjoyable and integrating it into daily life.
Exactly. Maybe we should emphasize the benefits of being active rather than the numbers themselves.
Absolutely. Highlighting how good it feels to be active
Yeah,
and how it improves mood and energy levels.
I think that's a message that resonates with people.
Me too. So maybe the takeaway is to encourage movement in any form.
Precisely. Well, this has been really enlightening. I'm feeling motivated to move more.
Same here. Let's make a pact to add an extra 2,000 steps per day.
I'm in! Awesome. Time to get moving then.
Definitely. Let's get those steps in.
Yeah.